So here we are then, 3 games of the season to go in our 3rd season, and there's 3 points for us to make up to get into those playoff places. Everything still to play for. I'll see you after the intro. Hey up guys, welcome back. This is the situation at hand. We lie in 8th with 66 points and a 25 goal difference. Stevenage, also 66 points and 0 goal difference. I have no idea how they've managed to achieve that when we're on 25. Plymouth, directly ahead of us, 21 goal difference is theirs, but they are 3 points ahead of us. So, of course, if we get one more win than them, our goal difference should be higher than theirs. Coventry, despite the fact there's 3 on 71, Coventry are the one that we can get, because our match next is against them. That was a weird way of saying that sentence. But yes, we play Coventry next. So obviously if we manage to beat them, they're only 2 points ahead of us. So if they drop a further 2 points, then we can get them. Salford and Wimbledon, they're a little bit obviously doing their own thing, and we don't interfere with those. So they're a little bit harder to catch. Plymouth though, and Coventry, they're the ones we can get. Of course, this task would have been made a lot easier if we'd managed to beat Plymouth when we'd actually faced them 3 matches ago. 2-1. They scored early on. We got one back. They started dominant. We came into the match. We started to control the match, and then we had a man sent off. So that ruined that. Salford, we had a man sent off again. After going down, we conceded a penalty early on. But even with 10 men, that's the stats. Yeah, we dominated, even with 10. It's not like all 12 of those shots on target came before the sending off. And then after 10 games or so, where 1 goal decided the game, naturally, 5-0. So... yeah, we shredded Macclesfield and condemned them to relegation in the process. 3 for Lopez, 1 for Gonçalves, and 1 for Stephen Robertson. All 3 of January's acquisitions scoring in these 3 matches. Between them, Reading got the consolation in that one, and 2 of them on the score sheet here. So, going well in that regard. Of course, we don't keep Reading, he's only a loan signing, but the other 2, here to stay. Now, we are away, obviously, at 4th place Coventry, so I'm not going to go full-on attacking for this one off the bat. I am going to start positively, though, because... I don't want them to sense weakness from the start. I want to start strong, and Tavares is really tired. How's that happened? Well, Boom's going to have to play this match. No idea why that's going on there. Abate's tired as well. Has that under-18s match happened with players I've not realised were available for the under-18s? That's the only thing. I've messed it. Oh God, don't let that mess this up. Williams too. There's some fringe players who are really tired as well, so I think some under-18s action has happened, or under-23s or something like that, and they've got tired as a result. That's not great news. What is good news, though, is this is the formation that I'm not touched or changed anything other than taking Get Stuck In off, which everyone realises is still on. But with that in mind, I forgot to take it off for Macclesfield. We got away with that one. Yeah, with 2 sendings off in recent games, I do not want my players to get that stuck in anymore because we can't afford a 3rd sending off now. Well, 5th technically for the season. It's gone a little bit insane again. Kinsella on the left and Clark on the right. I've put them in their most favoured comfortability position-wise in those roles, and that's both full-back attack for some reason. Both of them prefer that one. Not support, not anything else, full-back attack. So they're both doing that, along with inside forwards at the top, and of course the attacking forward at the top, very, very front, with Smallwood, Nissel and Thor in the middle, Reading and Gonçalves taking those wingers, and Juanito Lopez up front. Now Gonçalves is starting this one just because he's in a decent run of form. 7 on the dot. I say that, he had a good last match. Not a decent run of form as such. Conor Nissel, though, in that Salford match we ended up drawing, 9.0. I've been waiting a long time for him to have a match, and that was his. Left it a little late, admittedly, but 4 chances he created in that one. 8 key passes, I think it was. Let's give the fans... Oh, hello. Suddenly they care about the fans. That's never happened. I just click that sometimes just in the vain hope they'll do something. Like they care. Right, so this is a bit of a bumper one, so I'll try not to talk through the bits that aren't actually highlights all that much. So we'll have the scores on down here, just so we can see what's going on. And Kinsella, Nissel, working it quite nicely at this point. We've messed it up, but Thor's gathered the second ball. Gonçalves will run onto that loose bit. Clark will smash it across. Kinsella should get on the end of this. Kinsella should have got on the end of that if he'd been paying attention to the match, and now they're clean through. Well, that's gone dramatically the other way. Clark keeps it in and hoofs it the correct way. The number of times I've seen the defender, when it's a ball's approaching the touchline, just hoof it out for a corner instead of kicking it the other way, is frankly quite annoying. Gonçalves. No, Clark will have a crack though, and he does get it in the box, and Reading's just wide. 1 chance each in terms of the highlights we've seen, and here comes another as Reading just steals that And charges that now. Play it across to Gonçalves. Oh, Gonçalves has decided not to run. And I'm not sure what happened there. Why did you not join that attack? Anyway, he's there for the short corner, which won't come to him because there's a person on him. Doesn't mean there's one less person to break away with. Thor? No. Reading? No. He's kind of being pushed backwards a bit. Smallwood? I can't remember if this started with an open play highlight or not, so I have no idea whether or not I should keep talking. I shouldn't. Smallwood is motivated, so I'm glad I don't have to get stuck in, because motivated with that aggression is what leads to red cards. Another short corner. This one started with the corner, so something might happen here. Not just yet. You see there's Stevenage winning their game, though, clearly. Plymouth still drawing, because there's still a 3-point gap on that front. Castanier's charging down. He's managed to get in that box quite nicely. Kelly? Well, that's not great. He's taken that anger of being completely mugged by Reading a moment ago to, well, destroy us, really. Couldn't really hit that with that much more ferocity if he tried. Just the first touch takes him round the defender, and the second one, just clinical, really. And Kinsella, I'm already worried about. This is not the match for my left-back not to perform. Clark, though, Smallwood. Everyone was on fire last match. Where is that performance today? I know Macclesfield may be dead at the bottom, but 5-0 is still a state he's come around. No! He even went round the keeper and still managed to kick it at him. Gonçalves, though, is prepared to do this the opposite direction. Sort of. No, he's gone all the way back. I may have to consider taking him off earlier than I would particularly want to. He was the first one to tick down to 6.5, and I'm sort of seeing why. Lopez. Got away with that heavy touch. No, the defender's got it eventually. And there's only one player where this can go to where it would be dangerous, and it probably will get to him. Nope, it's gone to a second one, and if that ended up at this other Coventry player's foot, I would have been very annoyed. It's a fairly even game, but they've had 3 clear-cut chances, and we've had none. Is that hit the top of the crossbar? That cross. Nacelle, though, we'll gather this, but I suspect the connection with the crossbar was all we needed to see there. I'm going to be very assertive at half-time. Sympathise with the boys. I expect to see a much better showing in the second half, Sunshines. And also, sack my assistant manager in the summer. Because I'm not having nonsense like that at my half-time suggestions. I've got players on 6.4 out there. I'm only on positive. I've not gone fully attacking and not opened us up entirely. Romano, though, tries to get out to Gonçalves. Does get to his feet. That's nicely laid off, but Clark's under pressure here. I don't appreciate that. What's he done there? Who's he seen? Who's he thought was in that area? The rule is through, and it's gone a little wide, and it's gone out for a... Oh, he's offside. It's fine. Everything's fine. He's offside. Plymouth still not winning their match, though, which is opportunity if we can get an equaliser. Boom. Nacelle. Stevenage winning theirs is a minor issue, though. Lopez doesn't get to him, and I'm going to have to think about changes sooner rather than later here. The rule has gone through once again. Part of me wants to take offside trap off, but I know those kind of balls are going to happen regardless if I have offside trap on. I think just by having offside trap on, you can get some of those to actually be offside. Because it's going to happen time and time again regardless, because the defending intelligence is just not there for through balls this year for some reason. And because they can't fix that, I think that's why they can't fix the one-on-one situation, because they have to have something to compensate. He's hit the bar. We've cleared it. Everything's fine. Romano's on the ball. He's paying attention. Lopez, not great. Yep. Changes are happening. 6.4 for both wingers. Take a hike, sons. Not having that. Thor's on a 6.5. I mean, there's a 6.4 in defence, but I don't have a replacement right now. They've got a free kick. I don't like this. It's okay. We've got away with it. That's 20 minutes or so. I'm going to say get stuck in, because we've not picked up a yellow card at all just yet. I'm also going to try and go a little bit attacking to get that. It's not factored in just yet, but the attacking mentality will go in after this highly, because I'm going to need to try and force this last goal. Get the equaliser, and then Plymouth are winning. I've just seen Plymouth are winning. If the third match is irrelevant, by the way, if we mathematically cannot get in the playoffs by the third match, I won't play it live. Anyway, I will play it, and I'll bring you the results for it. But just in the interest of keeping this episode as short as possible, if the last match doesn't matter, then we won't use it. Boom's on a 6.4. I'm taking him off. It's a weird change to make, but I'm going to take him off because he's booked as well. I was just about to say get creative, but they've got a throw in. I saw a highlight appear. I didn't realise whose it was for. Just that up. Oh, that's well worked, and that's 2-0. Oh, that's the end of that dream then. Okay. I see Salford have dropped a point though. Again, they appear to be losing. That said, though, I think we're stuffed. Northampton at home next. That's not great from Ted Smith. I watched that in sort of silent horror. Read a highlight though. Not that we can get 2 goals back in any way, shape or form. How is the Plymouth game, by the way? What's their score? 1-0. Notts County. Leaders Notts County. Fighting for the title. Aren't doing better against Plymouth. That's a little annoying. Lopez is there. He's got one back. It's offside. So this is just not our match, is it? One clear-cut chance. They've had 4. Probably should have been worse than this. I'm so glad we've decided this rubbish performance is going to immediately follow a 5-0, just to annoy the hell out of me. And now we're seeing an end of game highlight, which does not need to be here. 4 shots on target. They've had 12. This could have been far worse. Oh, what are we seeing here? Oh, Lopez is offside. Bloody hell. Tell the boys they did well. I'm not happy with it. Mickey. Mickey, you are not so fine. Oh, Mickey. How we got less points than the team with 1 goal difference? That's Ted Smith, by the way, at this stage of his career. And for a League 2 goalkeeper, under average eccentricity, low tendency to punch. I like him a lot, really. Great communication and aerial reach and great reflexes for this level of football, especially. He says he's good, but not much left in him. Now, the bigger issue here is Stevenage we can get ahead of, possibly, because they do play third place Oldham, who need a win to secure promotion. Plymouth, however, have got relegated Swindon, and Salford, who we saw kind of slip up a little bit, have got 14th place Newport, but they are playing at home. So I shouldn't really be expecting too much of a miracle here. At the very least, we can get 8th back, I think. Since both wingers were a little bit ineffective, I will not be playing them. Lascelles a little tired too. Not massively so I will try and find a place for him on the bench. Otherwise, we get to continue as we were. Smith in goal, Kinsella, Romano, Boom, Clark, Smallwood, Cavalier and Williams in the middle. Bennett and Lee Tao taking those winger positions. Of course, Lopez, as ever, up front. 36 goals he scored this year. Can he add to those this game? I've just realised I'm on positive. I'll start positive, and if I need to go a little bit more aggressive, then we will do. I certainly say, let's raise our game. Ooh, to be honest, I have no idea if team talks really even matter all that much, because I can give the best team talk in the world, and they'll still just be rubbish. What's happened here? Oh, hello. Someone's brought down Lopez, who's going to take the resulting penalty, and 1 minute and a half into the game, Lopez has a chance to 1-0. There we are. 37 goals for the season now. 28 in the league, I think that makes. And I dare you to find a better performing striker in any division, respective of their level. Interesting celebration from the lad, though. Phillips. I mean, what is that? I mean, obviously the ball's gone upwards from hitting the post because that's still not fixed. But they had 3 men sort of ahead of ours at the end of that. Odd. Got away with it. And so far, it's looking good for our side. Closing the point on Stevenage to just the 1. We're still drawing, of course. 20 minutes into their game. Lee Tao. I see Salford have just leapt up, so that's that particular dream over. Of course, as things stand, that's 4 points between us and anyone in the playoffs. Stevenage have been in Oldham, because of course they are. Williams, Lee Tao back on this side. Can he play this in? No, he's just going to ricochet it off their defenders. That's all over. Wimbledon, as things stand, are in the automatic spot because they're 2-0 up at Grimsby. We really actually don't have anything to play for. Of course, there's Bradford right in our tails as well. I mean, I know there's not prize money for positions in this division as such. So it's not like the position we end up in really matters too much. But in terms of reputation, I would like, obviously, to get as many sort of reputation points as we can possibly gather here. Cavaliers on the edge of the box, not quite back to Smallwood. Clark might have been offside here. Bennett has headed that wide regardless. Goal kick, though. It wasn't offside. Lee Tao's on a 7.3 without scoring. Good performance from him so far. Bennett, though, gives it away. We should not really expect that much more. And Richards is through because through balls. A couple of players on 6.4s, and we all know what's happening next. I certainly say don't get complacent. And back it up with some other kind of team talk because at the very least it will confuse them and definitely not make them actually complacent. Because telling them not don't get complacent, as we all know, immediately makes them so. You know, Carlisle are destroying Crewe. Now 13th place Carlisle. There's a bit of a grouping there, for a bunch on 58, that they've just all let past as a result. But Crewe is second. Oh, they're clean through, because through balls. Smith, resulting 1-1 though, of course, compensates. We've had 2 clear and 3 half chances. Still only 1-0. No block shots. Pollock. I think this, yeah, I can say that came from the corner. Open play. Lee Tao's not playing it short. Where is the short corner? Williams should gather this ball. Villiers there. Clark. Back out to Lee Tao, who should just be onside here. Get it into the box. Bennett. Over. Well, he's coming off. Yep, 6.4. No excuses. Cavalier probably not too much further off, actually, coming off either. Yep, just dipped to a 6.4 as well. Off you come. I mean, it's a good job Carlisle destroying Crewe because Notts County are losing to Bromley, who have nothing to play for because the bottom 2 are relegated regardless. Not really anyone to take off. We're just all thinking tired more than anything. Right back. I don't have a right back on the bench. I sort of do. Williams is a bit off as well, but I haven't got a second midfielder. Focus on the left back. Highlight at the very, very end. There's been nothing actually since I pointed out the number of clear-cut chances and all that nonsense. Nothing has happened in the entire game for about half an hour. Lopez nearly forced it. I just noticed we went up to 8th all of a sudden. Oldham turned it around. This highlight is bouncing around a little bit. I suspect it's just the end of the game, but I can't see their game on this score list. I think there's been too many goals. It's run out of space. It runs out of Port Vale. We got what we wanted. I wanted to say we got away with it, but we got what we wanted. And mathematically, we can't get into the playoffs. So, with that in mind, I mean, worst we can do is 10th. That's kind of equalised as well. Oh, blimey, they did turn it around. 7 key passes. With that in mind, I'll just bring you all the end-of-season roundup stuff, and I won't bother with Mansfield. If we played a third game, I would have possibly done that in a separate video afterwards. So the run times would be about the same. Sorry, I just saw something as things were going through there. Well, that's an interesting move. Sure, that one went down well. But at the very least, I'll bring you the goals, and we've scored 1-0 here. Bennett plays it directly across, and Lee Tow's on the other end to tap that into the far corner. The fine reward for last match's efforts more than anything, I think that one is. Well, essentially, it's happened again for 2-0. Bennett on this left-hand side, just about get past that man, and powers it across for Lee Tow on the opposite side, who goes for the other corner this time. And that's 2. 2 assists for Bennett, 2 goals for Lee Tow. We're dominating, by the way. And 2-0 it ends with a thoroughly dominant performance I wish we'd done against Coventry. Fine way to end the season in 8th, all things told. And yeah, 72 points, 2 off Salford, who did lose the final game to Coventry. So if we'd beaten Coventry, we'd be in there. That's annoying. Still, best of the rest is something I'm absolutely overjoyed with. Oldham ended up top. Hang on. Notts County lost at home to Grimsby. Oh boy. Tight at the top though. Crewe could have won it as well if they'd beaten Stevenage. So from Oldham, from Oldham dropping out of the automatic spots at the very beginning of this episode to actually winning the title. What a rollercoaster it was for them. Same can't really be said for us. £420,000 and a wage bill of 45,500. That feels like it was definitely about 200 grand last year. 250 I think I pushed it to. Wage bill I don't think is massively higher, but the transfer budget's basically doubled. Aha, we're finally there. I was sort of expecting this to happen after the promotion stuff had been sorted out, but no, it's happened now for some reason, on the 11th of May. Players inducted into the overall best 11 squad include Richie Smallwood, who's in the first 11. Bennett, Boys, Thor and Tavares all join the party in some shape or form, all on the bench I think. Lopez, unsurprisingly, fans player of the season. Daniel Williams' goal of the season, don't remember. Signing season, obviously Smallwood. Lopez, of course, a young player. People had tipped York to be capable of avoiding relegation heading into the season, but the Minster men confounded every expectation by achieving a top half finish. I think you'll find 8th, 1 off the playoffs. Why is the moment to forget always a loss against the team that, well, they didn't actually win it in the end, did they? There was worse losses than 3-0 to a team that got promoted. Let's be honest there. So they've updated this, expand stadiums in the 5-year plan. Oh, hello. So despite finishing 8th, their plan next year is to finish mid-table. That being said, though, they now have promotion to Sky Bet League 1 in their club vision after last year's, of course, being just stay in League 2, stay in League 2, stay in League 2. So at least they've got aspirations now. But the fact they give me 2 years to get promoted, 4 years to get promoted, actually, I think that is, it's a better time frame than most get. Lopez's 37 goals for York is a new team record. Unsurprising. 28 in the league he got. Carlisle player got player of the highest average rating. What? Ooh, 2 new deals worth £400,000 a year. That covers the transfers anyway. I think the scouting budget might be a bit higher as well. Of course, I burned through a little bit of that, scouting players that weren't in the country. But at least some people got some nice trips to Portugal. So Plymouth get promoted. Oh, we get nearly £500,000 for participating in League 2. That sees our balance bounce back up again. I'll double check the finances now I've gone forward today. Well, no, I think that's already included. So, year-wise, I think we finished pretty much where we started. Maybe about 200 grand lower. But here we are. Everything's been sorted out now. Player of the year, Lopez. Of course. If they'd given that to anyone else, I'd be very surprised. Ted Smith in goal as well. Which says, despite the lack of clean sheets in general he presided over, the fact he's in goal says very, very much about his ability. Okay, he got some bonuses, but they're dealable. With that in mind, I will get rid of any of those highlights. There we are. Show you who the best players were this year, and I'll do this as quickly as I can because I suspect this is going to be a very long episode already. So, Lopez, of course, 50 appearances, very rarely out of that team. I'm not sure if he got injured for, at the very least, more than one game at a time. But 7.33, Williams on a 7.23 for the season, Nissel too on a 7.2. I kind of bemoaned his lack of standout performances, but 7.2 he ends the season on, Smallwood 7.13, Thor 7.1, Clark 7.08, and Romano ticks over as just over 7. And Tavares, who I might have forgotten to put back in the team at the end of the season there, my bad, 42 appearances for him, just shy of a 7. Ty High, yeah, he was here, and kind of forgot about him after I switched back to a formation that didn't include him. Boom, technically, our third best, and most importantly, Boom will get the homegrown club status at the end of this year, which means the ones that are currently homegrown club can disappear, which is good news for me. I had a mild panic when I was sort of bringing in players from the Premier League release list. Spoilers, I've already done 3 of them. So I was thinking, oh God, I need to keep, because I was signing them in players' positions where we've got homegrown club players. I was thinking, oh God, we need to keep them around. No, we don't. Boom gets homegrown club, so we're fine. Revelia did alright. Gonçalves did fine. He played 4 and started 4 and came with 4 sub appearances. 6.85, not too bad. Bennett ends up with 6.8 for the season. Ted Smith, to be honest, if you've got a lower average rating than the goalkeeper, what were you doing? All of these. Left back is the problem. You can see there, Kinsella, Ferguson, and Morgan Boys all below Ted Smith. Kinsella's 6.8, in fairness. He's not done too badly. He had a good couple of games towards the end of the season, which helped that in a little way. Obviously, Barty retires. Lee Tao, if he keeps going, then should get even better. Stanley's obviously not been brilliant this year. Kempster, I think, actually leaves. Parisa and Ferguson's, like a lot of these contracts down here, I think a lot of these players actually do run out of contract. Boy's obviously the exception. And of course, the player that we brought in, Stephen Robertson, who did get 1 goal in 1 starting appearance and 7 off the bench. So, admittedly, scored 1 goal, played 180 minutes of game. So it wasn't like he wasn't unprolific. He just didn't have a lot of game time since we brought him in. Of course, the problem is when you've got a 37 goal a season, man. That's what happens there. Speaking of, Bennett actually ends up with 9 goals this year. Massive improvement, despite a still slightly underwhelming average rating, possibly. But a decent return from him this year. Nice to see it. Williams 8 and 8. Reading did well, actually, since he came in. Despite spotty performances. Inconsistent, as his page said. Lee Tao did okay as well. And then we saw him getting into a little more sort of chip goals. 7 assists for Nissel, I can see that there. 4 assists for Stanley, actually, in the appearances he was actually in, I think. 6 assists for Clark in the end, and 6 assists for Smallwood. Surprising amount of assists, actually, for Smallwood in that deeper position. That actually does surprise me in a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to ramble on too much. In terms of the players we've got, you have to do remember, though, a lot of these players were playing in the National North. Lopez we brought in the first season, Romano and Boom were first season acquisitions. So there's a fair few of these players who have been kicking around for 2 years now, 3 years now. A lot of the players whose contracts run out, Ferguson, of course, who played a left back a fair amount this year while Boys was injured. A lot of these players have been around for a little bit longer and definitely aren't League 2 quality. So there, the defence is probably where we're going to bolster. Get a new first team in there. We may see an outbound, who knows. A little bit in the midfield, I feel like we could do a little bit more quality. Perhaps Williams may not return for a 3rd year. He's not developed a massive amount, though, at the same time. And his contract, I think his actual contract, is up at the end of the year. Well then. Because that's the one good thing about this skin. It does show the actual expiry date of their contract as opposed to the loan expiry, which of course is here. But we might get Williams permanently then. In the summer, that could be something to pay attention to. But yeah, left back is obviously definitely a problem because we've had 3 inconsistent performers in that position this year. Right back, we've only got Clark after this year because the rest of them will all get run out of contract. So we're going to need a second one there. Clark, thankfully, is progressed quite nicely. And then central defence could maybe do with a star defender for this level. Certainly won't go amiss. And of course, wingers continually confound in a way. I think right-hand side we're not too bad. I think Lee Tao and Gonçalves, we might be okay on that side. Bennett and Stanley, though, on this left. Bit of an issue. Thankfully, we don't need any sort of backup strikers anymore. Midfield could possibly do a little bit more strength and depth. Although we do have 4 players still with us next year. Obviously, if we get Williams back, that will be 4 players in that bit. And Smallwood and Block is still around for next year. So, really, it's the defensive line we've got to focus on and the left of the attack. Otherwise, I think we're okay. But of course, if we can improve any player, any position markedly, then I'm not going to turn that down. So, I'll join you next time with all those transfers. Of course, 3 in the book already, but they won't be starting. I will just be honest with them. They are backup players and most likely won't even feature outside of the under 18s. So don't get your hopes up too much on that front, but I will run you through them when I see you next. Until then, ta-ra.